So the Resilient Jenkins finally posted what they did for their toddler's 3-year-old birthday, and I'm genuinely glad that she took her kids out to go do something fun and that she celebrated the toddler's 3-year-old birthday because every child deserves to have their birthday celebrated and to go have fun. I just think the arcade was an interesting choice.
Hey, everybody. Real quick before we dive in, where are you watching from right now and what time is it there? Drop it down in the comments. I love seeing that. And if you're not already, go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe with notifications on, okay? It means the world. All right, let's get into this. Girl, the Resilient Jenkins finally shared something about their little one turning 3. And honestly, I was low-key relieved they actually got the kids out for some kind of celebration. Every toddler deserves to feel special on their big day, you know? No child should miss out on that kind of fun. But here's what threw me. They picked an arcade for a 3-year-old. I have a 3-year-old of my own, and I'm sitting here like, an arcade? Really? Don't get me wrong, my kid would probably lose their mind running around all excited, but it just wouldn't be my top choice for a birthday party. You know what I mean? At least they did something, though, right? That part I can definitely respect, but wait.
Had another Resilient Jenkins birthday this weekend with their toddler Atlas turning 3. Of course, Stephanie did not celebrate with steak and lobster like she did her golden child Minova. Instead, she made a single cookie peanut butter pie, which is completely overloaded with sugar in my opinion for a 3-year-old. But we all know her children's health has never been the main priority. She made a post saying they were celebrating this weekend when Dee was going to be with them. However, the only thing she has posted is this. She is consistently comparing herself to Drew and literally gets mad when people like Drew more than her, making excuses saying, oh, Drew's life is just so much easier. That's why his cooking is better. Told us time and time again that you don't care what people think, so why are you dedicating entire posts to it on your kid's birthday weekend? The fact that they're making burgers and bacon in this 300 square foot space is insane to me. Or are they airing out all that smoke, especially because that little kitchen area is in the back of the motel room near no windows? I just find it crazy. This was supposed to be Atlas's birthday weekend, and from Minova's, they went to a little indoor gym, they had lobster, steak, and even then, they did not take Atlas to that indoor playground. That poor baby is in that motel room 24/7. Why couldn't either her or Drew take Atlas out, just him, for his birthday? Give him that one-on-one attention that he needs outside of the motel room. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, because it just seems like she really does not care about Atlas.
Then I saw the part where the indoor play gym was apparently way too overstimulating for the toddler, yet they're cool with the arcade full of flashing lights and loud noises. Girl, hold up. That doesn't quite add up for me. If anything, an arcade feels like it would be even more intense with all the screens, the beeps, the constant chaos everywhere. Oof. I'm just saying, it comes across a little inconsistent. And speaking of that, remember when she talked about their son being diagnosed with epilepsy? I'm not here to question whether that's accurate or not, but we do know he's been dealing with seizures. So taking 2 young kids who've had recent health stuff like that to a place packed with bright flashing lights and super loud sounds, I don't know, it just makes me pause and raise an eyebrow. I'm not trying to come down too hard, but that choice feels a bit off, you know? Like, at least they got everyone out of the motel room for a bit, but still. Interesting decisions all around.
She apparently did something for him. I think she did it just because she saw people were outraged. But regardless, she took him to an arcade, okay? I'm glad she did that. I'm not going to pat her on the back for doing the bare minimum for her kid, okay? Glad she did that. It does piss me off, though, because she posts in this post that it was a dream for him with all the lights and the sounds and the gaming. It was a dream. Boy, that's so funny. Isn't that so funny? Because back in, was it January for Minova, the golden baby's birthday, where she got steak and lobster and a trip to the jump park and a custom cake and a bunch of presents? For her birthday, when she went to the jump park, something that Atlas would have loved, objectively, we know that, we see him jumping constantly in one spot, she said he couldn't go. He got left behind. Because it would be a nightmare for him. Someplace like that with all the lights and noises would be a nightmare. She contradicts herself constantly to change her narrative to fit whatever bullshit she's trying to spin at that moment.
Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. Instead of dropping a bunch of cute birthday photos and videos like you'd expect from a family channel, she kind of went off on this whole side rant about how Drew's cooking videos get more love than hers. Apparently, they both laugh when people comment that his stuff looks better, but then she dropped this long explanation about why her videos might not look as put together. Basically saying that when she's in the kitchen, he's not around to watch the kids, but when he cooks, she's right there giving him full support so he can focus. Okay. First of all, if they're truly laughing it off and unbothered, why write a whole paragraph defending it? It kind of gives the vibe that she's low-key annoyed or jealous that his content is getting more attention. And the way she laid it out almost makes it sound like they're in some kind of competition instead of being a solid team. Like, he's supposed to be your partner, right? Why frame it as, I'm stuck handling the kids while he gets to cook in peace?
See, Stephanie Jenkins, I try to leave you alone. I try to leave Stephanie Jenkins alone. But then I come back on TikTok, right? After the flu. And the first thing that I see is her making this glop. I mean, she's like putting tuna, chopping up cucumbers, throwing in paste hot sauce. She's throwing everything but the kitchen sink and putting her foot literally in the food that she's making. And I'm supposed to not talk about her. I want the confidence that Stephanie Jenkins has, because the fact that she thinks she's an influencer because she'll post this bowl of diarrhea and then say, here goes the recipe if you want to try it at home. Who is telling her, hey, I see that you threw tuna, I see that you threw some random vegetables, you threw some picante paste hot sauce in there, you just stir the shit out of that, and I want to know how you made it.
That energy just feels off to me. She even threw in hashtags like hashtag Resilient Jenkins, hashtag Motel Living, hashtag burgers, hashtag relatable, and hashtag mom life. I mean, I get wanting to seem chill about it, but writing all that just to say you don't care, it kind of screams the opposite, honestly. And the wildest part? She still barely showed anything about the actual birthday celebration itself. They're a family vlogging channel. They post cleaning routines, cooking, daily life, all of that. But for their toddler's 3rd birthday, we basically got just a couple pictures and a caption. People in the comments and on those alternative discussion spots have been asking for more glimpses of the kids having fun, even if faces are blurred or blocked. But nope. Instead, we got this long defensive note about cooking videos. She did post a little photo dump later saying they went to Wonderland to celebrate Atlas's big day. She mentioned Drew picked the spot and it was perfect for family time, and that the lights, sounds, and games were totally his happy place. But then she doubled down, saying the lower stimulation play place wasn't good because he couldn't really move around and burn off energy there. So the arcade was the better option. Allegedly. I'm sorry, but the mental gymnastics here are wild. You're telling me the play gym was too much stimulation, but blaring arcade noises and flashing lights are the move for a kid who's been having seizures? Make it make sense, please. I cannot with that part.
Won't somebody please think about Mrs. Jeremiah Thompson? Honestly, Drew and I laugh when he receives the comments that his cooking videos are better than mine. No, you don't. Generally, when I'm cooking, he's not home to help me with the kids. But when he's cooking, I'm giving him the full support of making sure he can do what he needs to do without stopping to tend to needs. Why are you telling us this? We do not care. You do realize that millions of parents cook every day without the other parent. Single and married, sometimes only one person's home. You're not fucking special.
Plus, let's talk logistics for a second, because this is where my brain starts spinning. They've got a 5-seater car and a whole bunch of kids. How exactly did the entire crew get to this arcade? People online were throwing out ideas like maybe they took an Uber or something, but come on now. Knowing their situation, that feels pretty unlikely. Some folks were guessing they probably left some of the kids back at the motel with one parent, dropped others off, then went back and forth. But that sounds like such a whole production. And if we're keeping it real, A lot of people are pointing out they don't exactly seem like the type to go through all that effort. Squishing everyone in the car, kids sitting on floors. Yeah. The whole thing just feels a little messy when you sit and think about it. Now, Portland apparently has some pretty cool spots for little ones. There's that giant indoor sandbox thing. I think it's one of the biggest around. Perfect for a kid who's all about playing in dirt and rocks, like Atlas seems to be, or those jump parks where kids can just bounce their energy out. But instead, they went with an arcade that feels more geared toward older kids. Sure, a 3-year-old could probably have some fun with a few games, but it doesn't exactly scream tailored for a toddler's big day. If the goal was something that could work for the whole crew, including the little ones and the bigger ones, why not just stick with something like urban air again, like they did for the baby celebration earlier? It kind of gives the impression that maybe there wasn't a whole lot of thought put into matching the activity to what each kid actually lights up for. She mentioned that Drew was the one who suggested Wonderland. I don't know, girl. Does that mean he's super tuned in to all their individual preferences, or was it just the easiest option that day? Either way, a bunch of people online are saying, hey, at least they did something, and I get that energy.
So she apparently now this is a dream for him. He loved it. So I'm not really sure what would have changed in 2 months. She was telling us none of us knew what it was like to be an autism mom, and he can't go out in public, and stop, judging me for not exposing him to the public. He's getting so overstimulated. Now all of a sudden, that's his dream. So she's so full of shit. And then also where she said she didn't post it because she didn't, well, you're posting it right now, but she didn't want us to turn all of her happy moments, ruin it with negativity. So you're okay posting them cramped in a tiny little motel room for us to judge all the time? Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense.
When you're in the thick of it with a big family, sometimes just getting out the door feels like a win. But when you step back and look at the bigger picture, the health stuff they've been dealing with, the transportation challenges, worries about overstimulation for the little ones, and how the vlog content has been looking lately, it starts to feel a bit less like pure wholesome family fun and more like questionable choices, you know?
Tuna like regular with just mayo, but I've never done anything else with it.
In today's episode, Pookie just copies that lady, the blonde lady Courtney's, the plowman lunch teacher. She made this video about like salsa tuna salad or something that she got in New York City, and Pookie's copying that. It was like a month ago. And I'm not like anti-copying videos, like I guess I don't really care, but I just thought it was interesting that like in none of the comments did anybody catch that parallel. I thought it was like an exact copy of Courtney's video. I'll put Courtney's video here.
I had Mexican tuna salad for yeah.
I have never in my life heard of putting salsa in tuna before that Courtney lady said it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe everybody's been putting salsa in tuna for years. I have not been. I am not anti-tuna also. There's a lot of people that don't like tuna. I won't tolerate tuna slander.
Speaking of questionable, let's circle back to that cooking video and the caption that came with it. Stephanie keeps saying she's not complaining and she really doesn't care what anybody thinks, but then she drops these long explanations, defending herself. She talks about juggling the kids while trying to film, like she's the only mom on the planet who's ever had to do that. Come on now. Millions of parents cook dinner every single day. Single moms holding it down, couples tag teaming, whoever. Sometimes one person is managing everything while the other is at work or whatever. It's not some rare superhero moment. The whole, won't somebody please see how hard this is for me vibe is starting to feel a little tired, especially when she turns around in the same breath and says she's totally fine with the hate comments. Real talk. If you're genuinely unbothered by the negativity, why keep addressing it head on? Why keep framing things in a way that positions you as the resilient victim who's just powering through? It almost feels like there's this need for both the praise and the drama at the same time. Most people, after this much consistent pushback, would probably take a step back from putting their life online like this.
Won't somebody please think about her and praise her for breathing? And of course, people are going to instantly assume that's me complaining, but it isn't. I just felt they needed to post it online for you to comment and tell me that I'm amazing. It's me explaining, because I'm a narcissist, that I very much don't give a crap if you expect a level of aesthetic from my videos. That's not realistic for me. You don't care about aesthetic. You're always authentic. Like, which is it? I mean, I get it. No matter what I do, a lot of you are set on hating me, having a negative opinion, and having something negative to say about me. I'm literally okay with that. Yeah, because you're a narcissist incapable of feeling shame and embarrassment. Anybody else would have been bullied off the internet well over a year ago. You don't deserve positivity because you're a bad person because of the kids, the animals, and your husband. As we say every day, do better. Bye-bye now.
But here we are, still going strong. And low-key, the overall vibe of some of the content sometimes gives me that unsettling feeling you get when you watch those true crime docs. You know the ones, like Evil Lives Here, where they show all the little signs in hindsight. Motel living with 7 people crammed in one room, going viral on TikTok for all the chaos, posting constantly while things look messy. It just has this energy that doesn't quite sit right as cute family content. I'm not saying anything bad is going on, of course. This is all alleged and just my gut reaction as I watch from the outside. But if this ever became a Netflix series down the line, people would probably be pointing at all the red flags in the footage. It's not the warm, feel-good family vibe you usually want from channels like this, you know what I mean? Stephanie, if you somehow stumble across this, and who knows, maybe you do, you gotta switch it up, babe. For the kids, for your peace, for real.
Hey guys, how's it going? I know it's been a while since I last posted. I have been quite busy, just focusing on the grind and trying to maintain the house with Stephanie. Everything's going well, I guess. More or less just developing a better routine and staying consistent. I hope everybody else is doing well. The weather's been nice the past couple of days. If anybody has any questions or comments or concerns, put them in the comments. I did want to, I guess, respond to a couple comments, but being so busy, I kind of forgot what they were. The only thing I can say is, I mean, it's paying off slowly. I'm not rich, but the struggling part is starting to lessen. I'm working 45 hours a week at the job and then trying to work anywhere from 21 to 30 plus hours a week. Gig work is helping. So yeah, hope to hear from everybody. Hope to hear from everybody soon. Have a good day. Enjoy the weather.
You know what's interesting about this latest video from Drew? Honestly, the whole thing is low-key working in his favor, even though it feels a little all over the place. He comes off as this tired but still polite guy who's just trying to keep it together. He's including the audience, wishing everybody well, hoping to hear from folks. Yeah, that kind of energy. Meanwhile, Stephanie has been pretty loud and defensive in her recent stuff, so when you put them side by side, Drew ends up looking way calmer and more put together by comparison. It's like the contrast is doing half the work for him. And get this, he even mentioned wanting to respond to some comments, but then said, no, because he's been so busy. He kind of forgot what they were. Wait, you turned the camera on specifically to address things and then forgot the details. That part should have made the whole video feel off or flat, right? But somehow, the awkwardness actually makes him seem more genuine, like less scripted or calculated. It's messy, but it kind of lands in a weird way.
King Bad Dad Drew himself has posted his weekly TikTok. I'm not going to get into his rambling too much because it's all lies. He's just as bad as Stephanie to me. I don't think he should get any slack. He could have been trying and working this entire time. He too neglects the kids and does not plan birthdays. That's not all up to Stephanie. Just because he works doesn't mean that he also is not a parent. The children that he has with Stephanie are not the first children that he's had. This is a neglectful father who is going to come on the internet and just say whatever. Anyways, like I said, I'm not going to get into what the deadbeat dad says. I just want to point out this one thing. Maybe it's my neurodivergence, but this is actually insane to me.
Everyone else is doing well. The weather's been nice the past couple days.
It's like this the entire video. It's the only thing I can see. I don't know a single sober person that could sit and film and talk with a metal thing jabbing into their throat for that long without adjusting it. This is just my opinion, but this video might have been the most telling that this man is not sober.
I cannot with how these things play out sometimes. Real talk, though, both of them are still in this together. Drew isn't coming across as some innocent saint who's completely removed from everything. He's just as much part of the situation as Stephanie is. It's just that he's better at presenting himself as the quiet, exhausted provider who's out there grinding and trying his hardest. And yeah, it does feel a little manipulative at times, especially when he keeps circling back to hoping everyone's doing well and enjoying the nice weather. That kind of softens him up and makes people see him as the more approachable one in all this. At the end of the day, this video wasn't some big, loud, explosive moment. It was more like quiet narrative control, you know? He framed himself as the one who's been sacrificing, working hard, and slowly making improvements. Without really saying much directly about her, the spotlight kind of shifts anyway. Then the audience starts filling in the blanks themselves, like he's moving forward while she might be the one holding things back. That's why it feels a bit slippery. He keeps his hands clean, and the story almost does the heavy lifting for him.
King Daddy, take me to the motel, take me to the motel, King Daddy. Little by little, let's live in slop. Like 8 o'clock at night, the kids are asleep. And I'm just like, I'm gonna go to sleep too. I have to do some homework. And then I'm gonna go to the gym tomorrow. Because I actually I have no other excuses left. We're out of excuses. I've used up all my excuses. And it's time to lock in because I've sort of got everything else I wanted to accomplish. And now the last thing is to get healthy and lose weight. And what a pain in the butt. But we're gonna do it. So I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow in the morning before work.
I low-key hope that the parts where he talked about struggling less and maintaining the house actually mean they're getting into a better living situation for the kids' sake. That would be huge, honestly. The kids deserve some stability, right? But the way these updates keep coming with the subtle shading and the sympathy plays, it's giving me true crime documentary foreshadowing vibes all over again. You know those episodes where they look back and point out all the signs in hindsight? The tired updates, the motel life mentions, the ongoing online friction. It just has that unsettling little layer underneath. And what about the birthday barely getting mentioned again? That part stood out to me too.
Where is Atlas? Where is he? I mean, we know at Minova's birthday that she went to a play space, she had lobster and steak, and Atlas got a pie with butter that was melted on a toaster. Which doesn't even really make sense to me because Atlas is supposedly autistic, right? So, he's supposedly autistic, so does he eat pie? Because Drew said in his post that he only eats french fries. So, that was interesting. She said that she was waiting for her other son to come celebrate Atlas's birthday. Miss Thompson, you don't have another son. That's Desiree's son. I'm just saying. In my opinion, she's ruined Drew's life. You know, she moved in, took over, they lost the apartment, he lost custody of Deshaun. I mean, the whole thing's a mess. There's a video of Atlas eating paint chips. I mean, come on. So someone posted under her YouTube video, there's a video of your child eating paint chips. You abuse animals, you lost custody of D, you spend hours talking to yourself on burner accounts. How does it feel that the whole internet is rooting for Drew? Someone called you a piece of shit mom and called him a good dad, and he said thank you. The only power you have is a car over Drew. You called him autistic and a loser, but guess what? The internet thinks you're the loser.
Anyway, what do you guys think? Is Drew just genuinely tired and doing his best? Or is this a sneaky way of throwing shade without saying it outright? Be so for real with me in the comments. I want to hear your honest takes. That's pretty much the tea on this one, you know? It's complicated, it's layered, and it leaves you with more questions than answers sometimes. Drop your thoughts below. Seriously, tell me where you're watching from and what time it is right now. Don't forget to like the video if this hit for you, subscribe, and turn on notifications so we can keep chatting about all this together. See you in the next one.